Welcome to Stories for Sleep, where the gentlest secrets of nature are told in a whispering voice to carry you into a soft sleep. Tonight, we will begin a very different journey, the most relaxing nature facts to fall asleep. To facts so soothing you may feel your body slow down with each beat. Perhaps it has been a long time since you gave yourself a truly quiet moment. Amid the noise of life, we forget that nature heals us hour by hour, with the silent rhythms of the wind, of the sea, of light, and of the earth beneath our feet. And maybe you are searching for something familiar, yet strange. Something that helps the mind stop spiraling into anxiety, that lightens the heart, and that lets the eyes drift easily into sleep. Tonight, I will lead you through a world of small but wondrous things. Forests that know how to converse, immortal creatures, grains of sand that carry the memory of mountains, and the planet's breath, slowly embracing us. Lie down, relax, and together with me, step into nature's ancient whisper. Shall we begin? When you close your eyes tonight, try to imagine, under the floor, under the ground out there, under your every step, there is an entire universe breathing, moving, living. A tiny silent universe so much that we almost forget it exists, yet vaster and more complex than any city humans have ever built. A spoonful of soil you can pick up from any garden contains billions of microorganisms, more than the number of people alive on Earth. If we could shrink to the size of a speck of dust, we would see a brilliant world. Tiny worms coiling like streams, fungi spreading like underground roads, and bacteria moving through minute spaces like flocks of stars migrating across the dark. The world beneath our feet is not dead soil. It is a living body. In every clump of earth, water flows like tiny blood vessels. Oxygen slips down like breath. Microscopic organisms decompose fallen leaves and old trunks, turning things that seem dead into new sources of energy, an ancient cycle, older than any civilization. Every second, beneath the soil surface, millions of biochemical reactions occur. Bacteria exchange information with molecules, fungi pull nutrients far away like conduits. Sand and soil weave themselves into perfect structures. And silence so deep, we never hear its sound. But if we listen with the mind, we will feel the soil is always alive, always stirring. From that ground grow trees. They stand still to our eyes, but in truth they are constantly moving, constantly reacting to the world. They can stretch leaves toward the light, as if gently stretching in the morning, curl up at night, like creatures that know how to sleep, open and close stomata to breathe, sway lightly when the wind touches them, like a whispered greeting. Some species even know how to count time. The queen of the night blooming Sirius, blooms only in the evening because it senses the length of darkness. Bindweed, a climbing plant, can calculate hours of daylight to decide whether to flower. The peanut plant remembers the hour of sunset to curl its roots. Even the species considered the quietest are conversing in a language human ears cannot hear. When a tree is attacked by insects, it releases chemicals into the air to alarm the trees around it. Within minutes, the local foliage can change composition to become more bitter, preventing the insects from continuing to eat. That scent, the smell of leaves when hurt, is the warning. A tree does not exist alone. It senses and reacts as part of a giant family, stretching for miles. Beneath the soil, where light never reaches, there is a network scientists call the Wood Wide Web. Fungi and tree roots connect by threads so fine the naked eye cannot see them. Through them, trees transfer to each other sugars, water, minerals, and even chemical signals. If a sapling grows in the shade, lacking light, surrounding mother trees can send sugars so it survives. If a tree becomes ill, underground signals help the whole forest change to protect itself. Beneath the forest is a true city, but without noise, only cooperation. Pitcher plants design sweet traps to lure insects to slip inside. The Venus flytrap can count. If a worm touches a sensory hair twice within 20 seconds, the trap snaps shut, a mechanism as precise as a clock. Mimosa pudica, the sensitive plant, can remember. If repeatedly stimulated without danger, it learns not to fold its leaves anymore, like an experiment in memory. Nature is not simple. Trees do not only live, they learn. When we step into a forest, we feel it easier to breathe, more relaxed. Not imagination, it's science. Forest air contains phytoncides, the natural therapeutic molecules trees emit to communicate and protect themselves. When humans inhale them, the body reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, boosts immune activity, stabilizes heart rate, improves sleep. The forest is healing us without words. Rice paddies bend with the rhythm of the wind, like a green sea under the Sunday. Moss spreads slowly on rocks like patient clouds. Ferns unfurl their leaves in the morning, like an ancient ritual. Each pollen grain floats through the air, like golden letters sent from one tree to another. Although so small as to be nearly invisible, are the threads that keep the earth breathing. It turns out, the world beneath our feet is not merely a floor to step on. It is a quiet universe that lives, silent yet in motion, simple yet so complex that science is still searching for answers. When you breathe in, imagine you are inhaling the story of millions of organisms, of a forest talking, of a planet warmly embracing you. In the stillness of tonight, nature is no longer something outside. It is the gentle breath within you. As our journey leaves the hidden world beneath the soil, where fungi, roots, and tiny beings whisper in the dark, the narrator gently guides the listener into another realm of nature. Creatures beyond time, entities for which age, death, and decay seem no longer to apply as we usually think. If the first chapter was a story of small but magical things, this chapter opens like an ancient chronicle, where time does not flow like a river, but like stone, like wind, like moonlight, slow, deep, and infinitely patient. You can imagine, there are organisms that stood there when the pyramids were not yet built. There are animals that can regenerate their bodies from nothing. There are even species almost immortal, not in a mythical sense, but in a scientific, quiet, humble sense. Let me tell you, in the cold, wind-swept valleys of California, bristlecone pines have lived for more than 4,800 years. They have stood there since writing was in its infancy, since the first civilizations barely began to kindle the flame of knowledge. Their trunks are twisted, like strips of time cut across, bark thick as layers of memory. Each ring a winter endured, a summer survived, a year lived between lightning and drought. If you lend an ear, you might feel as if they whisper, "We have seen the sun rise millions of times, and not one was the same." Nearby, in Utah, is Pando, the giant aspen grove considered the largest and oldest organism on Earth. All the trunks you see, though thousands in number, are actually a single body, connected by a common root system. Pando has lived for more than 80,000 years longer than the existence of modern humans. In those 80,000 years, it has witnessed human evolution, the formation of language, the start of agriculture, great empires rising and falling, yet it still stands, breathing, sprouting new leaves, swaying in the wind like a sleeping gentle giant. Not only trees cross the boundary of time. In the animal world, some species seem to hold a repair manual for bodies in their hands. Starfish can regrow entire arms. Some species can regenerate a new individual from a small body fragment. Planarian flatworms can regenerate a whole body from a tiny piece, an ability science still does not fully understand. Salamanders can regrow limbs, tails, even parts of the heart. These organisms are like nature's gentle sketches of regeneration, not in the dazzling mythic way, but in a very humble manner, patiently regrowing, layer by layer, following the ancient rhythm of life. In rainforests, a fungus Ophiocordyceps, often called the zombie fungus, attaches to the bodies of ants, releasing subtle chemicals that hijack the ant's nervous system. The ant leaves the trail, climbs a high leaf, and fixes itself there. And there, in the eerie silence of the forest, the fungus grows through the ant's body like a deadly flower, releasing spores onto the ground to continue its life cycle. Though it sounds like a dark tale, it reflects a truth more familiar than we think. Nature is not gentle, but it is clever, adaptive, and survives by any means. In the north, there is the wood frog of Alaska. When winter comes and temperatures drop to -40 degrees Celsius, they freeze. Hearts stop beating. Blood stops flowing. Bodies become small blocks of ice. And then, when spring returns, they thaw, hearts beat again, and life continues as if nothing happened. To science, this is a real miracle, a temporary death, right in the current of life. Perhaps the gentle message lies somewhere in that ability. Sometimes, you only need a long sleep to begin again. There is a creature so small, you need a microscope to see it. The tardigrade, or water bear. What makes it extraordinary is not a cutesy shape, but an almost limitless survival ability. In the vacuum of space, under pressures thousands of times that of the ocean, at temperatures near absolute zero, under levels of radiation that kill all other species. It is not immortal, but it knows how to suspend life, curl up its body, remove nearly 99% of its water, and enter a timeless sleep state. When water returns, it revives, as if nature had hidden inside it a small secret. Do not hurry, live slowly. And then there are species that transcend even those biological limits organisms scientists call nearly immortal. The immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dornii. When injured or aging, the immortal jellyfish does not die. It returns to a younger stage of its life, reverting to a juvenile form, and grows up again. Its life cycle resembles a circle with no end. Reborn, 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 as if time has no meaning for it. A 2,000-year-old seed. Scientists discovered a date seed in an ancient site in the Arabian desert. The seed lay dormant for 2,000 years in darkness. Then, when planted, it germinated. A life sleeping through the upheavals of humanity, then waking as if it had never been absent. Organisms that survive in space, some extremophile bacteria, tardigrades, and certain fungi have demonstrated they can survive in outer space, without air, in bone-chilling cold, under fierce radiation. These tiny life forms give us a strange feeling. That life always finds a way to persist, wherever and whatever the conditions. As we go through the list of those strange organisms, we realize nature is not only beautiful, it is resilient to the point of incomprehension. Some species live longer than civilizations. Some die and live again. Some regenerate themselves. Some are immortal. Some survive the cold void of space. In tonight's stillness, those stories no longer sound like scientific lessons. They are like the planet's ancient lullabies, reminders that life has never been as fragile as we think. It is patient, it is soft, but not brittle. It flows slowly, but does not stop. It hides, but does not vanish. And somewhere, within you, that capacity exists too. the ability to continue living, to grow, to heal, no matter how time passes. When we listen to tales of creatures beyond time, something quiet happens in the mind. We realize time, which we always treat as absolute, straight, and strict, is actually a soft stream, flowing at different rhythms for each creature. For humans, time is a rushing river, urgent, always pushing us forward. But for trees that live 5,000 years, time passes like wind gliding along wood. For salamanders, time is like clay, reshapable by growing another limb. For the immortal jellyfish, time is an endless circle, able to roll back at any moment. For the tardigrade, time can even be switched off, like turning off a light. And that awareness, not loud but gentle enough to make us feel lighter. There is no single shared tempo of life for all species. And sometimes, we do not need to be so fast. In some ancient forests, people find populations of trees that never truly die. One trunk dies, another grows from the root, then another, then another. These trees do not live forever as fixed individuals, but live as continuity, a gentle immortality, like a flame passed from one log to the next across thousands of years. Nature does not appear obsessed with long or short life. It cares about continuation, just like coral reefs that live for thousands of years, building cities on the sea floor from tiny bits of limestone, millimeter by millimeter. Old coral may die, but the new keeps growing. A city continuously rebuilt, even when the old architects have gone. Our days pass quickly, but nature's days can be as long as the history of a species. Among the timeless creatures, some seem born to survive the end of the world. Lungfish can live for years in completely dry mud, waiting for rain. Fairy shrimp hatch from eggs that can sleep for decades beneath parched desert crust, then awaken when water returns. Tardigrades are living legends of survival through every cosmic trial. There is a bacterium in a South African gold mine, Desulforudis ordaxviator, living 3 kilometers underground, without light, without oxygen, feeding only on energy from radioactive decay in rock. These organisms are reminders that life is not as fragile as we think. It is a persistent flame, smoldering for billions of years, always finding a way to continue. Some species live one day, like ephemeral dragonflies. Some live centuries, like Galapagos giant tortoises. Some die right after giving birth, like octopus mothers who guard their eggs until their last breath. Some survive asteroid impacts and ice ages, like Greenland sharks living 400 years in the dark sea. Time, therefore, is no longer a measure of value. It is simply how each species interacts with the world. A day for one species equals a century for another, and no species lives more correctly than another. And in that realization, a strange beauty arises. We suddenly stop comparing our life to anything else. Each rhythm of life has its reason and its tempo. Interestingly, in nature, immortality is not a goal. No creature chooses to be immortal. They exist in the way that best fits their environment. Some trees live 5,000 years because their birthplace is harsh and has little competition. The immortal jellyfish persists because its body is simple and fluid, like water, able to revert to an earlier form to avoid damage. Tardigrades survive because their environment is wildly variable. A 2,000-year-old seed endures because it was naturally preserved in perfect conditions. Nature does not show off. It simply adapts. And that simplicity is what makes everything beautiful. No myth, no spectacle needed. Immortality is sometimes just infinite patience before time. In an ancient forest, when a large tree falls, light pours down onto the patch of earth that had been in shadow. In the months that follow, dozens of saplings begin to sprout. The death of one tree becomes the opportunity for hundreds of other beings. Nature teaches that life and death are not two separate worlds. They are two chapters of the same story. Life continually regenerates with no ending, only transition. Like the immortal jellyfish returning to youth, like the wood frog freezing and thawing, like the mother tree nurturing saplings beneath its shade, like seeds sleeping for centuries then bursting into life. In nature's silence, rebirth is not strange, it is the rule. When we tell of creatures beyond time, what touches the listener's heart is not only knowledge, but a deep chest sensation that life can persist gently. No rush, no hustle, no struggle, simply continuing one way or another. Those resilient beings are like nature's message. You do not have to be strong all the time. Just be patient. Time will do the rest. When you lie down in the dark and listen to these stories, perhaps you also realize there are beings that exist outside the frameworks we call age. There are species that pass through death, like passing through sleep. There are seeds waiting thousands of years to say hello. There are species that survive every devastation of the universe. And you, a small human within vast nature, also carry that instinct, the instinct to keep living, even in stillness, even in the deepest dark. Relax your shoulders, take a slow breath, then breathe out very lightly. Those timeless creatures are telling you, there is nothing to rush, there is nothing to fear. Life always finds a way back. Water, in all its forms, always has the ability to bend reality. Soft, yet strong, fluid, yet steadfast, still yet intensely alive. And tonight, we will enter the most magical places. Water creates scenes that make one feel lost inside a dream. A diver swims down into deep waters in Mexico, through layers of water clear as glass. At that depth, suddenly appears a river. The river winds, has banks, has branches, even dead trees standing along its edge. The scene is so surreal, the mind hesitates. Is this real or an illusion? But it is entirely real. This phenomenon is called a halocline, where seawater and super salty water, hydrogen sulfide, do not mix, creating an undersea river. The dense, heavy water sinks and flows like a separate current. The strangest thing is, if you put your hand into that river, your hand feels as if it passes from one world to another, a kind of water within water. In that moment, we realize nature is not limited by what we believe to be real. It even likes to play with reality. Clouds, looking light as breath, can actually hold hundreds of tons of water. An average cloud weighs as much as 100 elephants. A storm cloud can weigh as much as a building, yet they float in the sky like suspended lakes. They drift not because they are light, but because their drops are too small for gravity to pull down tiny droplets following air currents like dry leaves in the wind. We look up and see clouds soft as cotton, but the truth is, they are a suspended ocean, a sea of water learning to fly. That thought is both poetic and scientific, real and surreal, like everything about nature. And there are places where water does not just fall as rain, it brings life. In Honduras, people still tell of the phenomenon lluvia de peces, raining fish. Not myth, fish really fall from the sky. In some storms, waterspouts suck fish from rivers and lakes, then fling them miles away. Sometimes fish, sometimes frogs, sometimes crabs. To science, it is an atmospheric event, but to locals, it is sacred, a gift from heaven. We recognize water is not merely a physical state, it is nature's messenger. When we think of whirlpools, We imagine small swirls of water draining from a sink. But the ocean has whirlpools so large, they resemble independent weather machines. They can be as wide as a city, as deep as a skyscraper. They move, holding warm or cold water within them, carrying nutrients and organisms hundreds of kilometers away. A giant oceanic gyre is like a tiny galaxy, operating by its own laws, moving in beautiful circular motion, silent yet powerful. Even when we do not see it, water keeps moving. Even when we do not hear it, it tells its stories. There are places on Earth where water becomes absolute silence. At the Dead Sea, you cannot sink. The water is so salty your body floats, even if you do not try. No fish, no algae, no living organisms can survive there. But the Dead Sea is not a place of death. It is a place of preservation. That salty layer keeps algae remains, leaves, and minerals, recounting the geological past of an entire region. Nature, though sometimes seeming cruel, always stores memory. Even death becomes a form of life, the life of information. Some seas glow. At night, waves hitting the shore look like galaxies beneath your feet. Blue light flares each time the water is disturbed, due to bioluminescent plankton. They shine not out of fear, but for defense. When a large fish approaches, they glow to attract a larger fish, causing predator to be preyed upon like a symphony of evolution. Seeing those bands of light, we feel the sea breathing stars, as if the water wants to say, I know how to make my own sky. There are rivers that are unusual. They freeze, yet still flow. Each year, glaciers move a few centimeters to meters, carrying rocks and sand, carving U-shaped valleys, creating clear lakes at mountain feet. Glaciers move so slowly, we cannot see the motion with the naked eye. But time-lapse cameras show us it is indeed a real river, a river of time. Ice is not still water, it is water moving very slowly, passing through millennia. Water in the atmosphere creates phenomena so beautiful they seem unreal. Inverted rainbows, sun halos, sundogs, the triple sun, white fog bows, broken phantom giant human shadow in clouds. These phenomena occur when light meets suspended ice crystals in the air. Each crystal is a tiny mirror, bending and splitting light into strange shapes science understands. But their beauty goes beyond any theory. Sometimes nature plays the artist, writing light upon vapor. Think of a single dewdrop, just one. To the naked eye, a dewdrop is a clear bead of light. But under a microscope, it is a world, a perfect sphere, a miniature sun, reflecting the whole sky inside it. A dewdrop might contain bacteria, particles of dust, traces of sea salt, and sometimes pollen from forests kilometers away. Each drop is a universe, a moment, a memory, and when the sun rises, the dewdrop vanishes like it never existed, a gentle lesson that beauty need not be long to be deep. Water is nature's most beautiful paradox, soft yet strong, still yet moving, transparent yet holding all colors, shapeless yet creating all shapes, able to fall from the sky, dreamily drift over land, or lie silently in deep seas. In water, the world seems inverted. Rivers can flow beneath the sea. Seas can glow like stars. Clouds can carry an ocean in the sky. Ice can flow like a river, and a tiny dewdrop can cradle the entire sky. Water reminds us that gentleness is not weakness. It is the gentlest strength. And tonight, as you drift into sleep, let your breath move like water, soft, slow, and very, very natural. Lakes that never freeze the warm hearts of winter. There are lakes that never freeze. Even when snow covers every path, when cold winds slice across the surface like thin knives, When trees stand motionless like winter statues, the water remains soft, liquid, and full of motion. It feels warm like breath. It lives like a heart beating beneath the snow. Normally, when temperature drops to 0 degrees Celsius, water freezes. But some lakes, from deep northern European lakes to volcanic crater lakes in South America to hidden lakes in taiga forests, seem not to follow that rule. They do not freeze completely. Sometimes only a very thin surface layer freezes. Sometimes not at all. And this is not magic. It is a physical gift nature reserves for life. Water is densest at 4 degrees Celsius. When it gets colder than that, water becomes lighter and rises, meaning the cold layer sits on top. The warm layer sits below. Fish, algae, organisms all hide in that warm layer to survive the winter. If water froze from bottom to top like most liquids, life would be trapped and perish. But water does not do that. It chooses to protect life, a kind of strange will that no language can fully describe. Water is the only substance that expands when it freezes. That makes ice lighter than water, and it floats. So, ice becomes a blanket, covering the lake like a protective shell, keeping the deeper water from becoming too cold, and keeping life from being snuffed out. What humans call frost, for water, is actually an embrace. When you look at a deep lake in winter, the horizon shrouded in mist, trees rimed with ice, wind numbing you, you will understand. Depth is the reason the lake doesn't freeze. In tens or hundreds of meters deep lakes, the large volume of water keeps temperature steadier than the air. Even if the surface cools to near freezing, the deep water keeps near 4 degrees Celsius, enough to sustain life. The water at the bottom becomes a warm room, an eternal winter refuge, a cradle of revival. And that is where fish sleep, algae slow, microorganisms enter a winter sleep, like the earth holding its breath, until light returns. Some lakes do not freeze for other reasons: geothermal heat from below. Volcanic lakes, even at freezing altitudes, stay warm from geothermal heat beneath. Lakes like Lake Toba, Lake Rotorua, or crater lakes in Iceland emit steam in the biting cold. In winter darkness, the lake surface steams like the earth breathing. Water moves slowly, warm, carrying minerals as if the planet is gently rocking itself. This is where water and fire coexist, where absolute cold meets inner heat, where nature becomes a long, quiet meditation. Some lakes do not freeze because salinity is too high. The Dead Sea, Don Juan Pond in Antarctica, a hypersaline lake where water stays liquid at -50 degrees Celsius, all carry the physics oddity: salt suppresses freezing. Water there is thick like honey, cold to near stillness, but still not frozen. In that silence, extremophile bacteria live, adapt, and wait for conditions to improve. Nature never completely turns off. It only slows down. There are lakes with their own mysteries. Lakes that never freeze because convection currents continually churn from the bottom up. Lakes that never freeze because strong winds prevent ice from forming. Lakes that never freeze because underground springs keep water moving. Lakes that never freeze because subterranean geology emits steady heat. Each lake is a character, a rhythm, a soul. Looking at a winter lake, you don't just see water. You see a story being written by nature's breath. When we look at a lake that does not freeze, we can call it physics, but we can also call it magic. Science explains, but emotion is what etches the scene into memory. A black, mirror-smooth surface, steam rising like breath smoke, small cracks of ice tinkling like a glass harp, the faint stir of fish beneath deep water. and moonlight sliding across the lake like a silver boat. Nature, whether we understand it or not, remains beautiful in ways beyond thought. A lake that never freezes is like a soft reminder. Some things are gentle but not fragile. Some things are cold, yet keep warmth inside. Some things that appear weak are reasons for life. Water teaches humans how to be resilient without rigidity, how to keep internal warmth through long winters, how to move even when surrounded by stillness. That is also the lesson of healing, not to fight hardship, but to pass through it slowly and gently. A lake that does not freeze, he said, is proof that even in the coldest moments, life finds a way to keep breathing. Tonight, as you fall asleep, remember that gentleness can withstand winter, and inside you there is also a warm lake that never freezes. Nature, as if reminding us, no law is absolute. No limit cannot be bent. Even water, the gentlest thing, can become a writer, rewriting the poem of gravity, light, and motion. And so our journey leads us to scenes that seem legendary, but are entirely real. Waterfalls flowing upward, and bays that glow like starry skies. No one sees a waterfall flowing upward without feeling their souls still. A feeling like standing before a small miracle of the earth. You can imagine a white torrent cascading down a cliff like any waterfall on earth. But suddenly, the whole stream is whipped upward into the sky, rising like silk, turning into mist. It looks like time reversed, as if the water remembers its origin and returns to the sky. These waterfalls can be seen in Iceland, Scotland, Australia, Madeira, and some mountainous regions of Vietnam. They are not hallucinations, nor magic, but wind. When the wind is strong enough, sometimes over 100 kilometers per hour, the thin stream becomes spray and is easily carried upward, suspended. Gravity loses. Water flies. Nature becomes a spectacle of paradox. Strangely, although water flies upward, our emotions fall into a deeper layer of silence. Because an upward flowing waterfall is not a noisy spectacle. It is almost silent. Water flies like mist. Time seems to stop. All movement slows, softens, thin as breath. It is as if nature is meditating and inviting us to meditate with it. Sometimes, to continue, we do not need to fall. We need to be lifted. An upward waterfall is a lesson in change, surprise, the submission of laws, and the victory of gentleness. Invisible wind can lift an entire stream, and the invisible things within us, hope, beautiful memories, kindness, can lift our hearts in the same way. That is healing. The smallest things lifting us out of the abyss. Bioluminescent bays at night. You can imagine a starless sky, but the sea below is starred, sparkling like millions of crystals scattered into water. Every step you take makes the water glow. Every ripple makes the water glow. Every fish swimming makes the sea emit a mystical green light, as if we see the ocean's breath. This is not an illusion. It is bioluminescent biological light created by millions of dinoflagellates, tiny organisms that glow when disturbed. Those tiny points of light, when gathered into seas, become an entire undersea galaxy. Some of the world's most famous spots: Vadhu, Maldives; Mosquito Bay, Puerto Rico; Luminous Lagoon, Jamaica; Toyama Bay, Japan. But sometimes, you don't have to go far. Some Vietnamese coasts also flicker with that gentle light in season. It is the light of life, not from the sun, not reflected from the moon, but self-luminous, like the sea's own soul whispering. But the heart speaks of miracles. Asterisk, asterisk. Those tiny organisms glow when touched. When water is stirred, when a wave lays on the shore, when a human hand rests lightly, nature seems to say, with just a small touch, I can shine. And not just the sea. Humans are also like that. If upward waterfalls are moments rebelling against gravity, glowing bays are moments surrendering into beauty. The sea does not fight the dark. It befriends it. Then it shines within it. It teaches us that darkness is not to be feared. Darkness is the stage for light to reveal itself. The deeper the darkness, the brighter the sparkle. In that moment, the ocean is no longer water. It becomes a mirror of the universe, a second sky. And we, looking down at that shimmering sea, seem to look into ourselves, seeing small lights within, parts we sometimes forget. Waterfalls lifted by wind, bays glowing from below. One thing rising, one thing shining below. Between those ends lies all the gentleness of water, and also the whole nature of Mother Earth. Resilient, gentle, enduring, and always beautiful in the most unpredictable ways. You begin to realize water flows upward, not for rebellion, but because conditions allow it to overcome. The sea glows not to show off, but because that is life's language. Those two images remind us that life has moments of being pushed back, and there are moments we shine because of the smallest impacts. Nature speaks to us with those images, and we deep down understand. Tonight, if you feel you are flowing against the current, remember the waterfall that rises above gravity. If you feel you are sinking in darkness, remember the bays that glow without the Sunday. And finally, nature never loses hope. Water never stops telling stories. And you, so do. We have just stepped out of the world where water glows, sings via enzymes and currents. Now nature opens to another sight, vast, gentle, and strange as a dream. Giant underwater kelp forests swaying, like ancient terrestrial forests, breathing to the ocean's rhythm. If forests on land stand firm, solemn, and still, underwater forests are soft, flexible, and no moment is like another. They live by water's ways, constantly moving, never fixed, and always dissolving into invisible rhythms. There are underwater forests taller than 2 or 3-story houses. There are kelp blades, as wide as grown human arms, stretching like soft silks. And when currents pass, the whole forest bows, as if greeting the wind. These forests are called kelp forests, giant seaweed forests. They are not trees. They are algae, but reaching 30-40 meters high, dark green like a cat's eye at night, beautiful enough to make viewers feel they are drifting in a waterlogged dream. When light from the surface falls, each kelp blade begins to glimmer. They sway with the waves. Schools of small fish dart through like silver specks, and the whole forest undulates, a gentle chorus without words conducted by the ocean. That space is at once fairy tale, scientific, meditative, and real. A world where you feel the sea's breath, but hear nothing. These forests produce oxygen, absorb carbon, and provide refuge for thousands of species. They are the ocean's silent architects, no different from the Amazon on land. They calm waves, nourish tiny creatures, create shade underwater, and keep ecosystem balance. But most wondrous is they move as a unified body. Terrestrial forests stand upright and still. Underwater forests open and sway like the planet's long hair curling with each current. Kelp forests make all your movements lighter, even thoughts slow. Everything seems filtered through a thick layer of water, soft, smooth, drifting. We do not merely observe the forest, we dissolve into it. And in that moment, water is no longer a backdrop. It is your air. It is a light blanket, wrapping every sound. It is the softest narrator nature ever made. Water is not just a liquid. It is memory. It is force. It is time in motion. Science says water stores heat, transports material, dissolves, erodes, builds, destroys. But in Stories for Sleep, water is more than all that. Water has will. It remembers what passes through it: salt, minerals, mud, light, motion, seasons. It moves along secret paths beneath the ocean. It fights when it meets rock, but is also so soft it cannot be grasped. And when water writes its greatest story, we come upon two breathtaking phenomena: rivers flowing through the ocean and enormous underwater waterfalls. One of Earth's strangest images is a sweet river flowing under salty sea, winding like an independent planet. There are places where salt water and fresh water do not mix. Different densities make them stratify. That creates the image of a river with banks, a river with current, a winding river, and all of it lying on the seabed. A diver passing over this river sees it as a transparent ribbon sliding along the ocean floor. Sometimes, if the current meets a swirl beneath the water, it even creates waves like a real river. This phenomenon is called a halocline, the boundary between two layers of different salinities. But when we look with the heart, not formulas, that river looks like a preserved memory, a story that has not dissolved into the ocean, a separate timeline within the greater time. The world's largest waterfall is not on land, but at the bottom of the ocean. That waterfall reaches 3,500 meters, 3 times taller than any surface waterfall. It is the Denmark Strait Cataract between Greenland and Iceland, and it exists because layers of water of different temperatures and densities create a steep downward flow, much like a waterfall. No thunderous noise, no white foam, only immense water falling in absolute silence like time itself falling. Underwater waterfalls teach that what we see on the surface is only the smallest part of reality. True grandeur always lies deep beneath the unseen layers, like emotions, like memory, like the things we hide. When we assemble all those images, waterfall lifted into the sky, glowing sea bays, swaying kelp forests, rivers under the sea, waterfalls under the ocean, we recognize a very light but very deep truth. Water does not just exist, it tells stories, and it tells them with light, motion, silence, darkness, gentleness, and persistence. Water is never fixed in one form. It becomes whatever nature needs it to be. And in that flexibility, water teaches us a lesson as light as the wind lifting a waterfall at dusk. You do not need to be strong, just know how to change. Tonight, when your eyes close, let your mind drift with the ocean streams. Let heavy thoughts sink to the bottom. Let beautiful things rise like a gentle glow in a bioluminescent bay. And then, nature never stands still. Water never sleeps, but you may. From the world of water, we step into a world seemingly entirely opposite, the desert, a place without seas, yet also a sea. No waves, yet sand that can flow. No forests, yet ancient memory overflows. No songs, until the wind blows, and the whole sand body raises a low voice like strings from the planet's heart. The desert, under the lulling view of Stories for Sleep, is not a place of death, not an endless white of the world. The desert is a deep sleep, the earth's sleep. Most people think deserts are only hot. Hot enough to scorch, hot enough to crack the ground, hot enough to bake bread on a stone. But nature always has hidden corners that surprise us. When the sun sets, the desert becomes colder than freezing. Temperatures can fall to Khumgrua, Misasel, even Misasrim DC in some places. Why? Because sand does not retain heat. It heats quickly and cools quickly. It does not know how to hold warmth like moist soil or thick forests. The desert under moonlight is like another planet, silver gray, frigid, silent, like the moon's surface. When wind blows, sand whispers across the vast silence, a sound like an ice knight dragging armor across stone. And there is no stranger feeling, standing in the hottest place by day, yet becoming an icy place at night. Nature always holds that gentle contradiction, hot to live, cold to rest. That is the desert's breath. The Sahara was once a green land, full of lakes and forests. About 10,000 years ago, what are now sand dunes, hundreds of meters high, once hosted crocodiles, elephants, antelopes. Once people lived beside vast, rushing ancient lakes. Once there were forests, grasses, rains, and the rock paintings in southern Sahara even show deer, buffalo, even people swimming, meaning the desert once had rivers deep enough for swimming. Science calls that era the Green Sahara. But then climate changed. Winds shifted, rains withdrew, the forests died, lakes dried, grass browned, and sand began to fill the paradise that once was lush. Today, the desert is a massive tomb of memory. Not a place without life, but a place where life sleeps. Sleeping in silence, sleeping in layers of sand stretching to the horizon. And that thought that a wilderness was once paradise teaches us softly that everything transforms, everything is temporary, but beauty leaves traces. But the desert's most beautiful part lies not in the past. It lies in moments when the sand begins to sing. Not a metaphor, not a legend. The desert truly has a song, deep, lingering tones, like the sound of a monochord resonating from the planet's core. This phenomenon is called singing sand dunes, dunes that sing. When wind passes over the steep sand slope, or when sand slides down, grains rub together and create sound. A sound so deep, you feel it in your chest before hearing it with your ears. It is like an ancient bell, a pipe organ, or the earth's dreamlike echo. In some places, the song lasts up to 10 minutes, ringing through valleys. Most famous places: Morocco, Oman, Chile, California, deserts of Central Asia. That sound is like nature breathing or dreaming. Scientists believe this happens because of synchronized vibration of millions of sand grains, very low humidity, and uniform grain size. But in the Stories for Sleep frame, scientific explanation is only the doorway to magic. The desert sings because it is alive, because it remembers old rains, because it summons the wind, because it does not want to be forgotten. Not fast motion, not motion easily seen, but the earth's silent movements. Most of life, we think the ground is still, but the earth spins, vibrates, tilts, expands, contracts, moves centimeters each year. And sometimes, those slow movements produce great phenomena. Wind change direction, storms form, oceans warm, deserts expand, mountain collapse, and massive clouds are lifted into the upper atmosphere. Storms are not merely anger. A storm is balance. It transports heat. It moves excess energy from sea to sky. It cools the earth. It resets the atmospheric system. Without storms, the planet would be hotter, more stagnant, unlivable. Yet when we hear storm, we only think disaster. But in the lullaby's view, storms have rhythm, structure, and ancient intelligence. the eye of the storm, is absolute silence. The eye wall is where the strongest winds are. Clouds spin in a perfect Fibonacci swirl. Each atmospheric layer moves like giant dances. A storm seen from satellite looks like an earth flower, a white flower turning slowly to enchant. Things no one sees, but that create every spectacle on Earth. The drifting of continents. Magma flows under the crust. The lithosphere, rising and sinking, shifts in magnetic poles. The Earth's breathing through warm, cold cycles. The transfer of desert dust across oceans. The migration of monsoonal winds. These forces are quiet, not hurried, not felt in an instant, but over millions of years, they change the planet like the most patient artists in the world. Sahara was once green. Amazon was once a sea. Africa and South America were once connected. The Himalayas continue to rise each year. Indonesia sinks. Britain and France move apart 3.5 centimeters per year. The Earth always changes. Only its tempo is too slow for humans to notice. Like the rhythm of the soul, slow, deep, and silent. The desert is not dead. It is only sleeping. Oh, a storm is not enraged. It is rebalancing the planet's breath. Sand is not silent. It sings when the wind touches it. The Earth does not stand still. It keeps moving, slowly, kindly, like your heartbeat as you fall asleep. In the gentle dark beneath the ground, where light does not reach, where time moves slower than the mountain's breath, the impossible exists. Underground lakes hundreds of kilometers wide, lying beneath the driest sands on the planet. Not an illusion, not nomad legend, but truth quiet, persistent, as silent as the earth itself. Beneath the Sahara, the hottest, driest, least rainy place there are, underground lakes the size of nations. The Nubian Aquifer, lying more than 2 kilometers below, contains more water than Lake Victoria. No one sees it. No one hears the water. No one feels the flow. But beneath that thin sand layer, billions of liters await, like the memory of when the Sahara was green. That water has age. 20,000 years. 40,000 years. Even parts of the water dating back 1 million years. You heard correctly. Beneath the seemingly deadest planet place is a fossil ocean, frozen in dark space, waiting to be retold the story of rain, forests, and rivers that once existed. If the desert is the Earth's sleep, then underground lakes are the Earth's dream kept, cherished, preserved in the dark. We often think water must flow, must sing, must wave. But there, water sleeps. Sleeping thousands, tens of thousands of years. And in that sleep, it becomes more beautiful than any river on the surface. Leaving invisible oceans, the narrator lifts the listener back to the surface, where mountains stand like the planet's spine. And a gentle truth is revealed. Mountains do not stand still. Mountains grow. You may think mountains are immobile, eternal, like stone giants frozen in time. But in reality, each year, the Himalayas grow by a few millimeters. The Andes shift. The Alps rise. Not fast, not violently, but steadily, patiently, like the growth of a living creature. This truth makes us think, if mountains can grow, then the Earth is much more of a living body than we imagine. It has skin, the crust, flesh, the mantle, a heart, the molten core, wounds, volcanoes, breath, wind, storms, tides, life cycles, tectonics, erosion, regeneration. The Earth is not just a planet. The Earth lives. It vibrates, breathes, regenerates, slow enough for humans not to notice, but never stopping. Like your heartbeat, while you sleep steady, gentle, yet sustaining existence. We regard rock as hard, cold, immobile. But in geological time, rocks also change, mature, age. Rocks are compressed. Rocks deform under pressure. Minerals crystallize, then break, then recrystallize. The veins in stone are the planet's wrinkles. Each rock slab is a memory stored for millions of years. And the strangest thing, some crystals grow like trees. In Mexico's caves, people have found gypsum crystals, selenite, up to 12 meters long, weighing tens of tons. They do not glitter like gemstones. They are not small like ordinary crystals. They are giant columns of light, milky white, shimmering like crystal erected by the earth itself. For them to grow, that large conditions must be perfect. Water saturated with minerals, stable temperatures, ample time, an undisturbed environment. Those crystals are, in a way, flowers blooming in the dark, slow to a pace our eyes cannot see. But they still bloom, they still grow, they still reach toward a light that never comes. Sedimentary layers stacking up, minerals crystallizing like frost, magma vein flowing like hot blood, silent caverns holding the breath of ancient eras, and somewhere, ancient water lying still, waiting. The inner earth seems dark, but in truth, it is a place where light need not appear for beauty to exist. Those giant crystals may be lamps that never lit, pages no one has read, poems no one wrote, yet still infinitely beautiful. No one needs to look at them, no purpose required, no time required. They only need to be themselves, and that is enough. Deep mountain roots, groundwater currents, minerals, rock strata, all are like the planet's memory. Rocks record positions of magnetic poles millions of years ago. Ice cores record ancient climates. Fossils record life's heartbeat. Deserts record forests' footprints. Oceans under sand record ancient rains. As if crystal, water, rock and sand all try to tell us, we have lived, we still live, and we will continue to live. And when those layers of memory are peeled back by scientific light, or by a lullaby's telling, we perceive the gentlest truth. We do not stand on the earth. We stand on its living history. We are not outsiders to nature. We are part of this living body. Our blood has iron from stars. Our bones have calcium from ancient seas. Our breath holds oxygen from forests. Every molecule in us was once in rock, in water, in air of hundreds of previous generations. The earth is not only a home, the earth is origin. There are sleeping lakes under the desert, like ancient tears of the earth. Mountains are still growing, like a child stretching for millions of years. Rocks know how to age. Crystals know how to bloom in the dark, and this planet knows how to remember. You are like the earth, always changing, always growing, always remembering, even in silence. Let tonight be your rest, like the earth resting beneath layers of sand, like ancient water sleeping deep underground. You are part of this breath, and you are safe in the living planet's embrace. Nature, once again, reminds us, life never stops creating. There are birds that spend most of their lives in the air. Not a day, not a week, but months. Sea swallows and some albatross species can fly over 10,000 kilometers without touching land. Some even sleep in flight, using half the brain to rest while the other half steers the body. Can you imagine? Across the vast ocean, with no foothold, no lights, no landmarks, those wings still find their way, still persist, still gently cross thousands of winds. They do not just fly, they live in the sky, as if the sky were their own river. And in that image, we see ourselves. Humans sometimes must learn to fly on days without support, using faith as land. Leaving that vast sky, we dive deep into the water, where voices are not by breath, not by ordinary vibrations, but by songs lasting hours. Humpback whales sing pieces up to 20 minutes long, repeated many times. Their melodies have structure like a classical composition, opening, crescendo, variation, repetition. No one knows exactly whom they sing for. It may be mates, it may be the entire ocean, or perhaps their existence itself. In the ocean's dark, where light cannot reach, music is the light. It is how they reconnect the world. It is breath and story. From the water, the narrative flows deeper into sea caverns, where a soft-bodied creature without bones watches us with strangely intelligent eyes. The octopus, a creature with 3 hearts, blue blood, over 500 million neurons, most located in its arms, the ability to open jars, unscrew lids, remember roots, and even play like a curious child. The most wondrous thing is, each octopus arm can make its own decision without the central brain, as if its body holds many minds, a form of intelligence humans cannot compare to. And in its softness, we recognize a philosophy. No need to be hard to be smart. No need for bones to be strong. No need for speech to communicate. It proves intelligence can take many forms, like water, like light, like tentacles, moving gracefully in the darkness of coral. There, seemingly ordinary creatures possess abilities humans can only call miraculous. Birds use the Earth's magnetic map. They see the Earth's magnetic field like light, a sense humans cannot perceive. Bees sense humidity in the air. They know when rain is coming and change their flight path. Dogs and many animals detect earthquakes before humans know, not prophecy. Simply their bodies are more subtle, more sensitive, more attuned to the ground. Whales can see with thermal maps. They sense ocean temperature boundaries, navigating precisely kilometer by kilometer across journeys thousands of miles long. These abilities are not loud, not cinematic superpowers, but intelligence given by nature, as subtle as breath, as light as waves stroking the shore. Bats do not need eyes to see. They emit soft clicks and rely on echoes to map their surroundings so precise they can avoid a thread. Echolocation is not magic. It is mathematics happening in a blink. It is the delicate structure between sound and intelligence. Watching bats fly in the night, like winged dreams, gliding through the air without touching the darkness. We are the same, moving through life by signals we sometimes do not understand. Emotions, hunches, intuition, all are echoes of a single truth. Human beings also have their own resonance. Ants carry weights 100 times their body mass. To them, a tiny grain is a mountain, and they lift it with the power of the collective. Termites build cities beneath the ground, so complex that humans have to use 3D technology to understand their structure. Eagles can see prey from kilometers away. Their eyes have a density of photoreceptor cells 4 or 5 times that of humans. Glass frogs' bodies almost transparent, so that predators cannot see their organs. Squids that eject clouds of light, helping them vanish into the dark, like magicians of the deep sea. Fish that can change sex depending on circumstance. Animals do not merely live, they feel. And this creates the warmest layer in this chapter. Wolves nurse injured members. They do not abandon one another. Elephants weep when a member dies. They stand for hours beside their fallen companion. Penguins give pebbles as courtship gifts, a small act, but full of choice and affection. Dolphins call one another by distinctive whistles. They remember those names for life. In this tenderness, the listener senses that emotion is not a privilege of humans. Affection is the language of all life. Birds fly for months in a sky without footholds. Whales sing songs longer than a human's sleep. Octopuses are clever like sparks of light on the ocean floor. Animals sense wind, earth, water, light in ways we cannot. Nature does not put on a show. It simply is, and that very being is beautiful enough. Tonight, let yourself become light as a bird's wing, still as a crystal deep in the earth, and gentle as a whale's song in the deep ocean. You live in a world more wonderful than you imagine, and you are part of that wonder. And there, we encounter something seemingly paradoxical yet true. Fish walking on land. In our understanding, fish are creatures of water. They swim, drift, undulate. Meanwhile, the land is the realm of lungs, legs, and the ability to resist gravity. But nature does not believe in such rigid boundaries. Among the mudflats, among mangroves, among coastal marshes, there are creatures quietly doing the impossible, leaving water behind, propping themselves up and walking, as if a piece of ancestral memory is waking, as if we are watching the moment 375 million years ago, when the first creatures left the sea and set foot on land, replayed, slowly, serenely. And in that tiny act, the vast sweep of evolution is compressed into a single motion. This creature can breathe through skin, mouth, and throat like an amphibian, propels itself by its two front fins like tiny hands, climbs on mangrove roots and crawls on mud, hides in burrows when the tide rises, holding an oxygen bubble to breathe, sees with bulging eyes that can rotate independently like tiny telescopes, defends territory, builds mud castles, and even fights. They do more than exist. They are delicate in every action, like little artists of the mudflat. They look strange, even comical, but they are living proof of life's boundless capacity to change. They do not know they are repeating evolutionary history. They are simply living as life wants to expand. One of the scenes that astonishes many is seeing walking catfish on streets after heavy rain. They use their pectoral fins and body to push themselves not fast, not graceful, but full of determination. Walking catfish can breathe air, travel kilometers to find water, survive when ponds dry up, detect soil moisture, hear vibrations through their skin. They are like little travelers of the tropics. No sound, no footprints, only persistent, slow, soft motion, like the whisper of the earth. If the mud skipper is a dancer, the walking catfish is the wanderer, then the lungfish is the meditator of the fish world. It has primitive lungs and can live without water for months, even years. When a pond dries, it burrows into the mud, secretes a mucus coating, and sleeps. A long sleep like ancient time, peaceful to the point of disbelief. Science calls it estivation, a form of dormancy. It does not sleep to escape. It sleeps to wait for the world to soften. And when the first rain touches the earth, the lungfish awakens, breaks the mud cocoon, returns to the water, to life. Like a miracle, like a rebirth, not just one or two species. Dozens of fish species have developed the ability to walk. Climbing gourami can climb rocks. Snakehead moves on land to claim territory. Eel catfish uses its body to brace and slither like a snake. Some gobies climb waterfalls using their mouths and bellies. Nature is the most patient scientist. It tries, it fails, it tries again, and sometimes it creates a creature so wondrous that it breaks the boundaries we imagine fixed. Walking fish are not just a story of the present. They are our own memory. 375 million years ago, a creature called Tiktaalik crawled ashore, using its fins to brace against gravity. It did not know that later there would be trees, dinosaurs, birds, elephants, and humans. It only did the simplest thing. It tried. And from that experiment, all life on land arose. When we see a mudskipper prop its body onto the shore, we are glimpsing a faint reflection of our ancestor, a mythical memory, replayed in silence, in the mud, in the slow breath of a shallow sea. Because deep in the mind, we recognize the world is not static. Boundaries are temporary. Life is soft, very soft, and that is precisely what makes it strong. Fish walking on land do not defy the rules. They are simply finding ways to live, like you, like me, like every creature on this planet. And in that search for water, we see our own search for peace. These little creatures cross the land as if crossing the history of life itself. Each crawl, each brace of a fin, is a gentle reminder that no boundary is permanent. Let your mind slow down, like a fish finding its way in the rainy night. No hurry, no fear, just quietly move toward peace. Nature has spent billions of years finding ways to live, and so have you. Butterflies do not simply see the rainbow as we do. They see colors for which humans have no names. To human eyes, a rainbow has 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But that is only a small slice of the spectrum. Beyond it there are infrared, like invisible warmth, ultraviolet, violet shades beyond naming, bands of light for which the human eye has no receptors. We see the world through 3 types of cone photoreceptors. This limitation is not because the world is poor, but because human eyes choose a balance between hue and brightness to survive. But butterflies, they are not so limited. They have 5, 6, even 12 types of color receptors. Their eyes are masterpieces of nature, not for living in darkness, but for living in a sea of light we cannot touch. The butterflies we call brilliantly colored are only a miniature version of the true beauty. On their wings are patterns that only appear under ultraviolet-like secret maps made for the eyes of other butterflies. Veins that glint in UV, luminescent spots like stars, patches that look plain to humans. Butterflies do more than see these patterns. They use them to communicate, to recognize species, to find mates, to mark territory, to avoid predators. A butterfly that seems simply blue to us is in truth a shimmering universe of patterns to its peers. What we see is the shell. What they see is a song of light nature composed for butterflies. Bees are famous for UV vision, but butterflies see more smoothly, more delicately. Many flowers use UV patterns to guide insects as maps pointing to the nectar. To humans, flowers are beautiful. To butterflies, flowers are light. In a butterfly's eye, sunflowers have hidden UV rings like a second sun. Daisies have luminous brush strokes leading to the center. Orchids have mysterious purple streaks that trigger instinctive approaches. Butterflies do not need to read maps. They read light. We often imagine butterflies drifting aimlessly, floating like a leaf in the wind. But in fact, they move along luminous pathways only they can see, like boats following invisible currents. While humans view the world through 2 eyes with a single vantage point, butterflies have compound eyes, thousands of tiny lenses like little windows. Each window sees a small fragment of the world. Combined, butterflies can see nearly 360 degrees, detect motion many times faster than human eyes, perceive minute changes in light, differentiate colors we cannot name. The butterfly world is not static. It is a constantly changing symphony of color. Every movement, every beam, every tiny rustle of wind becomes clear as music in the air. That is why butterflies dodge danger as fast as a flash. Not because they are faster, but because they see before we can perceive. Another mystery. Many of the colors on butterfly wings do not come from pigments, but from microstructures on the wings, layers of scales as fine as glass. When light hits them, it bends, reflects, interferes, creating hues science calls structural color. That is why the blue of the morpho butterfly glows like electricity. The purple of Heliconius changes with angle. Silver, gold and blue on wings shimmer like water brushed by moonlight. These hues do not fade with time because they are not pigments. They are molded light. Butterfly wings are like tiny mirrors, designed by nature so that light can be turned into art. Many butterflies can see ultraviolet, UVB, even near deep UVA ranges humans cannot sense. They have spectral ranges 2-3 times wider than humans. If we looked at the world through their eyes, we would see a night sky with more light, pollen on petals glowing like meteor showers, droplets reflecting UV like silver mirrors, leaves patterned in UV to help distinguish old trees from young. The world would not only be brighter, it would be wider, not because we moved, but because we see more, not for show, not for vanity, but because life requires it. In the forest, light filters through leaves into bands, flower colors change with seasons, predators hide in green, mates appear only for brief moments. To survive there, butterflies become the planet's best light observers, what science calls evolutionary mechanisms. For them is simply a way to love life more. We do not see everything. The world is always bigger than our eyes. Emtam, that phrase is a lullaby, reminding us that perception is not the limit of the world, only the limit of senses. There are beautiful things we do not see. There are gentle colors beyond imagination. There are movements hidden in invisible spectra. And that is not loss. It is a gift. Each species is given its own window to view the world, and the butterfly's window is simply wider. Butterflies see colors we can only dream of, but that dream helps us know the world is far more beautiful than our eyes can embrace. Tonight, imagine you lie in a garden where light has thousands of tones, where butterflies pass by, leaving a soft purple trail in the air. Let your mind see colors beyond the rainbow, gently, just a little, like the way butterflies see the world. And finally, take a very soft breath. Relax. Let the invisible hues envelop you. Good night, in the purple that only butterflies can see. There are species that need no map, no compass, no stars to find the way. They sense Earth's magnetic field, like how we feel a loved one's warmth. And so we begin a quiet journey into the world of biological compasses, one of nature's gentlest secrets. Imagine a baby sea turtle, the size of your hand, trembling as it crawls on scorching sand. It touches the surf for the first time. It plunges into the ocean for the first time, then vanishes into endless currents. For decades after, it will travel thousands of kilometers, crossing steel-cold waters, reaching emerald warm seas, riding currents through storms, through the darkness of the deep. And then one day, no one knows how, it returns to the very beach where it was born, sometimes within a few meters of accuracy. Scientists call this geomagnetic, imprinting a magnetic fingerprint. Sea turtles remember the magnetic signature of their birth beach, like an invisible scent in space, and use it to find their way home. Earth's magnetic field is not static. It shifts, tilts, and changes shape over decades. Yet sea turtles still recognize home, as if Earth is not merely a planet, but a mother leaving marks on the skin of tiny creatures. Turtles do not get lost, because they always remember the planet's heartbeat. On September evenings, when the wind brings the first coolness, if you listen carefully, you will hear the soft call of flocks of birds crossing the night sky. They fly from one continent to another, crossing seas, mountains, deserts, guided only by thin wings, and a sense of the magnetic field, not only by stars, not only by the sun's position. They actually see Earth's magnetic field. This perception is not thought, it is light. In many birds' eyes exist molecules called cryptochromes. When light hits them, these molecules react to the magnetic field and create faint patterns across the bird's vision like pale glowing lines, denser from north to south. Humans see an ordinary night. Birds see invisible bands of light, bending, shifting, soft as smoke. That is why they can fly thousands of kilometers through the dark, without getting lost, without stopping, without fear. The sky in a bird's eyes is not simply dark, it is a living map. Some species even have tiny magnetite crystals in their beaks, acting as miniature compasses that help sense north-south, even without light. Each time a bird flaps, the sky answers with an invisible stream of energy. The ocean has no landmarks, no signs, no roads, yet salmon nonetheless return to the exact river where they were born, swimming up waterfalls against raging currents. Sharks swim straight for hundreds of kilometers, tuna cross oceans like silver arrows. Turtles, dolphins, whales, all share one thing. They sense the magnetic field. Salmon use the taste of water to recognize their river, but use magnetism to navigate the ocean. Sharks have the ultra-sensitive ampullae of Lorenzini, detecting minute electromagnetic changes like hearing the current of fields flowing around bodies. For humans, the ocean is darkness. For fish, the ocean is a net of vibrating magnetic waves. We look at the world with eyes. Fish look at the world with fields of energy. The magnetic field not only shields Earth from solar radiation, it is also a guide for creatures on journeys longer than human lifetimes. In soil, in rock, in water, in air, the magnetic field flows through everything, like a shapeless, colorless, silent river. We cannot feel it, but those creatures can. Science still does not fully understand how turtles, birds, and fish hear the magnetic field. Each species may use a different mechanism: light-sensitive molecules, magnetite crystals, currents in cells, or mechanisms we have yet to discover. But whatever the mechanism, they all evoke a real gentleness. Nature always gives creatures what they need to find their way home. Imagine magnetism as music. Its rhythm is slow, steady, never-ending, and each species can perceive a different melody. Birds hear by light, turtles hear by magnetic memory, fish hear by electric fields and magnetite. To human eyes, the sky and ocean are empty. But to them, space is full of silk-like pathways, not strange creatures, but the planet's heart taking them by the hand and leading them. This perception brings an unusual calm. Earth is not merely the ground we stand on. It is a map, a guide, an embrace that cradles every creature. Each time a bird migrates in winter, each time a turtle returns to its natal beach, each time a salmon swims upstream, it is Earth telling them, the road is here, trust me. No echo, no light, no noise, only the magnetic field and the silent creatures that hear it. We do not feel the magnetic field, but that does not mean it is not there. The world always exists in layers more than our eyes can see. Maybe, in your own life, there are invisible currents guiding you, colorless, soundless flows, yet they lead you to exactly where you need to be. Relax, like a bird quietly flying by invisible light, like a turtle quietly finding its birth beach, like a fish swimming along the ocean's magnetic heartbeat. Let Earth itself lead you to sleep tonight. Navigation is only the opening chapter. In this world, there are creatures that make tools, calculate, regenerate, and survive in conditions that make humans shudder just hearing about them. And thus we step into a wholly new chapter of nature, a chapter about lives that exceed every frame. An image of a young crow standing on a stone, dropping a nut into the road so a car will crack it open. Not just a strange scene, but a poem about intelligence in nature. Then sea otters, lying on their backs on the waves, placing a rock on their belly to smash shellfish. Capuchin monkeys dig wells to find water. Dolphins use sponges to draw fish into traps. Great apes use sticks to fish for termites. They even sharpen stones to create sharper tools. They do not merely imitate. They think. They choose. They improve. In that moment, the boundary between humans and nature almost dissolves. Perhaps nature never lacked intelligence. It is only that we sometimes forget to see it. You might think reproduction requires two individuals, or at least a moment of exchange. But nature has Kita, Lonelia paths, no less wondrous. Some lizards can produce offspring without male's parthenogenesis. Some deep sea worms split in two, and each half grows into a new body. Corals and sea anemones reproduce by slowly budding themselves, like the extension of a long breath. And in still ponds, there are hydras almost immortal. They endlessly clone themselves, renewing tissues so that aging hardly touches them. They do not grow old like humans. They do not fade. They simply continue to expand themselves. Like life experimenting with an idea, only nature has the patience to pursue. Oxygen is the foundation of life. That is what we are taught. But then, science discovered a tiny parasite, Henneguia salminicola, that spends its entire life without respiration. No mitochondria, no oxygen exchange, no combustion-like energy burning. It lives in darkness, inside fish, where oxygen is nearly a luxury. It exists by recycling the host's nutrients, a reduced form of life so strange, yet still alive. The narrator allows a pause. There are things we thought impossible, turned out only to be things we had never imagined. That is nature's gift, the ability to expand the definition of life. There are creatures living in lightless mud, creatures living in acid, creatures enduring pressures that would crush steel, creatures thriving at boiling temperatures, extremophile bacteria in hot springs, at hydrothermal vents deep within Earth. They do not endure the heat. They prefer it, as if fire is home and boiling water a familiar breath. Imagine the gold, red, orange pools in Yellowstone. They are not just scenery, they are habitats. In those colored rings live millions of microscopic organisms, thriving at 80-100 degrees Celsius, sometimes even hotter. Life does not retreat. It seizes every opportunity. At hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor, where water gushes hotter than 400 degrees Celsius, but does not boil due to immense pressure, there are living cities, giant tube worms, archaea, blind shrimp, white crabs, no light, no oxygen, nothing like the surface world. Yet, life flourishes there, brilliant in the silence of the deep ocean. Nature does not care about the limits we impose. It simply continues to experiment and continue living. Through each example, birds sensing magnetism, fish walking on land, turtles mapping the seas, butterflies seeing beyond the rainbow, one thing becomes clear. Life is never simple. It is an unceasing explosion of creativity. Over billions of years, each organism has tried, failed, adapted, transformed, and the result is a world where some build nests of clay-like architects, some use tools like artisans, some reproduce by splitting like branching rivers, some live without oxygen like darkness that breathes, some endure boiling heat like fire smiling. All together they form a quiet truth the narrator wants the listener to feel deep in the heart. There is no single way to live. There are countless ways to exist, and nature is writing them every day. Nature does not boast. It does not proclaim its greatness. It simply exists patiently, subtly, without limits. And when we observe those small creatures, seeing them live in conditions we thought impossible, we suddenly realize a gentle truth. This world is larger than our fears. Life is more resilient than our sorrows, and nature's creativity is deeper than our dreams. Let those possibilities lull you to sleep tonight. Let the mind open like a forest, and remember that, even in the dark, life is still trying the next miracle. From the world of behavior and ability, we move to lands that seem unreal, landscapes that, if described in words alone, might be mistaken for fairy tales. But all are real, existing on this planet, quiet, dreamy, ancient as Earth's memory. Color-changing lakes by season, where water paints its own hues, like a dreaming soul. Nature is not still. It changes, like breath, like memory, like our own moods. And from there, the listener is invited to a realm where water becomes an artist, seasons become a palette, light becomes a phrase, and lakes become journals of time. There are lakes on Earth whose colors are not fixed. They are not the green we are used to. They do not need a clear sky to be beautiful. They do not depend on clouds or weather. Instead, they change color by rhythms only the lake seems to understand. By season, by temperature, by wind, by minerals, by things only the lake sometimes knows. In spring, the water is clear and still, so clear you can see every pebble on the bottom. Stones, silently dreaming of past seasons. Summer comes, and the lake becomes lively, filled with carpets of tiny algae reflecting the sun, making the water glow like turquoise, a blue threaded with a drop of golden sunlight. In autumn, when cold winds lick the surface, minerals from the bottom rise, and the water turns pink, purple, or deep wine red. In winter, the lake grows solemn, colder, deeper, wearing the silver gray of an old soul. These changes are not random. They are the delicate interplay of light as the sun's angle changes, plankton, each season dominated by different species, minerals on the lake floor, water temperature, subsurface currents, and even the rhythm of nighttime winds. Each year, the lake changes color more than 100 times, and each change is a new painting. No two are the same. The lake does not just reflect the world, it reflects its own deep cycles. In Australia, there is a lake of vivid pink, not cherry blossom pink, not pastel pink, but an original, candy floss pink. If you bottle the water in a clear glass, the water still retains that pink. Not an illusion, not a reflection of the sky, not light deceiving the eye. It is a real color, a combination of the alga Dunaliella salina, salt-loving halobacteria, and pigment-producing minerals. It is both scientific and magical, a merry, gentle lake that seems to smile at the viewer. Sometimes, nature paints like a child, using pink simply because it is beautiful, no explanation needed. Canada has lakes of turquoise, a blue that is not blue, a gem-like green that is not exactly emerald, a color the eye recognizes before the mind can name it. That color arises from glacial flour, superfine rock powder ground by glaciers over thousands of years. These ultrafine particles flow into lakes in summer, producing a shimmering hue like the gaze of an ancient creature. When winter comes, glacier runoff slows. The lake darkens, calms, as if holding the year's memories in its depths. Morning Glory Pool in Yellowstone once had a deep blue, a shade that made one feel as if looking into Earth's own eye. But over time, people tossed coins and small objects into the pool, changing its temperature, introducing new bacteria, and the pool shifted to yellow, orange, red. Not because the lake was sick, but because the lake adapted, like a living being, responding to its surroundings. No longer the same blue, but beautiful in another way, like a sun sleeping beneath hot water. There are lakes that change color, not because of algae or minerals, but because light itself bends on the water. In some places, the interplay of waves, combined with a clouded or snowy sky, creates surreal images like a painting. At dawn, the water is peach pink. At noon, the water is the blue of a remembered cloud. At dusk, it deepens to ink purple. At night, beneath moonlight, the surface glows like soft forged silver. These lakes have no fixed color. They merely reflect the breath of light. And so, in each moment, water carries a piece of the sky. Perhaps water understands light better than we do. Perhaps that is why it changes color, to hold a moment before it drifts away. Each season, the lake shifts color, as if recording a journal. When rains are abundant, the water is clear. When glaciers melt strongly, the water turns blue. When heat increases, algae bloom and tint the water yellow or orange. When prolonged cold occurs, the water grows somber, like an unread poem. Color-changing lakes are the planet's liquid memories. They show us that Earth is not still. It is recording every change, every day, every hour, every breath. So, when you look at a color-changing lake, you are not merely looking at water. You are viewing an ancient story, written in color, in time, in the small circles rippling when wind touches the water's skin. When water changes with light, we also change with mood. When the lake is blue, we see hope. When it is yellow, we feel warmth. When it is red-purple, we sense evening. When it is silver-gray, we feel nostalgia. That is why the viewer feels calm, looking at a lake, because that surface is not just nature. It is an emotional map, and each passerby finds a piece of themselves there. If water can change color, what else beneath the ground, behind cliffs, beneath the ocean, is waiting for us to discover? From there, the journey invites the listener into the next chapter: giant crystal caves, floating forests, vanishing rivers, places where nature continues to whisper its secrets. If surface water changes like emotions, then deep underground, nature keeps wonders light has never touched. Oh, In Nica, Mexico, nearly 300 meters deep, there is a place called Cueva de los Cristales, the Cave of Crystals. There, gypsum crystals, selenite, are no longer small like jewelry. They are tens of meters long, weigh tons, translucent as ice untouched by the sunday. Not ordinary crystals, not ordinary rock. They are pillars of condensed light, pieces of time stretched into material life. Many crystals reach up to 12 meters, thick as thousand-year-old tree trunks, and shine like glass blades planted in darkness. Some scientists who enter have said, it feels like standing inside the Earth's ribcage. And indeed, the crystals at Nica are unlike anything on the surface. They grow so large that humans feel like specks of pollen floating in a room built by millions of years of patience. What creates them? The story begins with a perfect temperature maintained for hundreds of thousands of years, about 58 degrees Celsius, with absolute mineral saturation. The cave was submerged in hot water, without disturbance, without strong currents, without sudden changes. Only water, minerals, time, and absolute silence. In that environment, crystals grow slowly, 1 millimeter per century, a rhythm so slow it nearly does not exist. And that slowness creates wonder, like human healing that only truly happens when we learn to quiet down. Crystals only reach giant size, in a place without hurry, without turbulence, without rush. Nature constructs this marvel with a gentle rule: the slower, the more beautiful. When you enter the cave, the first sensation is not awe, it is heat. The cave's temperature is near 58 degrees Celsius, humidity 100%. Each breath is a warning. Each step is a challenge. Researchers can only stay 10-15 minutes max, wearing cooling suits and oxygen tanks. But then, when the eyes adjust to the dim light, what appears before you makes all hardship vanish. Crystals longer than cathedral columns, intersecting like crystal swords piercing the dark. Many crystals are so transparent, you can see small bubbles, droplets trapped from the last ice age. In that moment, the listener is invited to imagine each crystal is not merely mineral, but time préservé, an ancient moment kept in the perfect silence of the earth. No one sees them grow, no one hears their formation, but they lived, they grew, and became part of the planet's memory. In that deep darkness, there is something hard to describe. Space seems alive. Crystals glow faintly, as if breathing with the hot air. The crystal faces reflect torchlight into shimmering streaks, like streams of energy moving under the planet's skin. Each crystal pillar is formed not by an instant, but by the ancient rhythm of the earth, hot water, saturated with minerals, the settling of heat, stable pressure, time stretched into infinity. Crystals grow like roots of light, like branches made of radiance, slowly in one direction, the direction that Earth's energy guides. It is not stone. It is the slowest, most patient, and also the most exquisite chemical concert nature has ever composed. A particular irony is that the very conditions that allow crystals to grow also prevent humans from staying long. Hot space, saturated humidity, impossible to breathe long, no more than 15 minutes. Those beautiful crystal columns lie in a world humans can visit but never truly belong to. Thus, Nica Cave carries a beauty not meant for mortals, a beauty Earth made for itself, hidden deep, kept for time, like secrets the planet whispers in sleep. When a flashlight touches a crystal face, it wakes and shines. Tiny veins inside reflect light like tree rings, hinting at growth stages gone boo. But unlike trees, a tree may take hundreds of years to age. A crystal takes hundreds of thousands of years to grow. Each centimeter is a millennium. Each meter is a long chapter of Earth's history. Those crystals are rock that knows how to grow, minerals that know how to age, matter that extends its existence in silence. No sound needed, no light needed, no witnesses needed. They write their story themselves in warm darkness. The planet's most beautiful structures are not created in chaos, but in silence. Like the human mind, too noisy, and we cannot heal. But when we slow down, stop pushing, and let time do its work, beautiful things begin to grow. Thus, Nika Cave is not only a geological wonder, it is a subtle metaphor for healing. Everything needs time, and the greatest things need a depth of stillness beyond human imagining. In the earth, crystals grow like pillars of light. On the surface, water changes color like moods. And elsewhere, forests float, rivers disappear, lands shine white as snow. Nature still calls to us. But at this moment, those giant crystals remain bright in the listener's mind, like crystal candles, lit in the Earth's darkness, illuminating a small corner of the wonder this planet keeps for those who listen. If underground light can bloom into crystals, then on the surface there are floating forests that drift, wander like memories, refusing to stand still. A new door opens, a world not fixed, a world where trees no longer stand on earth, but between waters. Ordinary people think of forests as standing still, roots anchored in soil, trunks to sky, leaves catching light, cycles repeating forever. But sometimes, nature breaks the rules. In some places, trees do not grow on soil, but on accumulations of dead plants, on peat, on thick mats of vegetation, like giant cushions. Time accumulates over centuries. Roots interweave like invisible carpets, forming a soil that is not really soil. A patch of earth can float, a forest can drift. They are called floating forests, or floating islands, forest islands, that are not fixed. All they need is balance between density, water, and time. When wind blows, they move. When water rises, they glide. When seasons change, they slowly shift like a very long planetary breath. In India's Loktak Lake, fungus, mats of vegetation meters thick, carry trees, shrubs, birds, even deer. They float, they drift, they touch the shore when the wind shifts, they depart when the water cools. Forests there do not stand like green monuments. They live like schools of fish, like creatures breathing on the water's surface. Strangely, trees on fungus still flower, bear seeds, and grow as if they stood on solid ground. Because soil, like humans, is sometimes not the place we stand, but what supports us. When water falls, fungus sink to the lake bottom to sleep. Roots touch the ground and absorb nutrients. When water rises again, they float up, light as a big leaf. They remember their old positions. They remember roots. They remember where the wind often pushes them. No science calls this memory, but the narrator whispers. Nature sometimes remembers by structure, by weight, by the direction roots lean toward the water. A memory, not like the human brain, but as persistent as the seasons. Deeper still, the narrator reveals another layer. Floating forests are in fact evidence of perfect symbiosis between water and land. They do not oppose. They do not annihilate one another. They do not divide by the maps we draw. They merge naturally. Soil becomes light, soft, adaptable. Water becomes a support, holding an entire forest on its surface. Trees become bridges connecting sky and water, like human emotions. Only when we are soft can we float. Only when we are not too rigid can we drift with life's rhythm without sinking. Floating forests exist because they are flexible, because they accept, because they change shape to live. Floating forests float because the mass of the vegetation mat is less than the weight of water displaced. Roots weave into a net, stabilizing the structure. Slow decomposition creates natural air pockets. Layers of light mud are trapped beneath the vegetative mat. Trees continue to grow and root, thickening the mat without sinking. Science explains the mechanics, but the feeling standing in a drifting forest, no formula can capture. You feel soft earth underfoot, but that earth gently rocks like a waterbed. You stand among tall trees, yet hear water lapping below. Wind moves the whole forest slightly, like a giant, unmanned boat drifting. At that moment, nature becomes a giant hammock placed on the lake, and you feel small, safe, as if lying in a mother's arms. On the Negro and Amazon rivers, there are floodplain forests, but unlike fixed mangroves, these regions truly drift. Scientists track them by satellite and note. Primary forest mats, thousands of square meters wide, move a few meters each month. No joke. Some seasons they slide tens of meters, a distance enough to change entire micro-ecosystems on them. Fish living under the canopy, beets nesting aruders, insects clinging to the vegetative mat, all move home together in a silent journey. The forest becomes a nomadic community, a green migration, gentle, persistent, without leaders, without announcements, without anyone stepping out first. Only the rhythm of water and the forest's quiet reply. A floating forest is not just soil and trees. It is a complete ecosystem. There are species living within root layers, species living only on the mat surface, species sheltering in gaps between vegetation layers, species that feed underwater but sleep on the floating mat. From microbes to large mammals, from fungi to insects, from birds to predators, they weave a whole kingdom on an island, always moving. If Earth is a living body, then floating forests are flexible cells, parts that self-adjust according to water, like a body adjusting to breath. Floating forests have a special quality. They make time slow down because the scene is too gentle, too quiet, too incredible. In the slanting light, tree shadows lean across water, but the water is right beneath your feet, not beside, not ahead, but directly under the thin soil you stand on. Space becomes blurred. You no longer distinguish where forest ends and lake begins, where land ends and water begins. Only the feeling of standing between a world moving in sleep. Floating forests make us understand no border is truly fixed, both nature and life. A softless sun hidden in the wind through leaves. A tree does not choose where it is born. It grows where it can anchor, and if its foundation is not solid, it will drift, but it still lives, still puts out leaves, still flowers. Humans are the same. We are not always standing on solid ground, but we can still grow by adapting, by softening, by letting go of unnecessary roots. Floating forests teach us you do not need to be rigid to survive. You just need to flow with life, gently. Trees can float, forests can drift. What about rivers? Can rivers disappear? If forests can drift, then rivers can vanish, not because they die, but because they find another path to go. A feeling of mourning slips into the voice. Rivers, once symbols of persistence, of endless flow, may leave the surface, slip silently into darkness, vanish like stories left untold. Whenever we think we have understood nature, it reveals another secret. In many places on Earth, rivers run for a stretch and then abruptly disappear from the surface. No warning signs, no gradual flow reduction, not changing color, simply they vanish. They flow into ancient fissures, in limestone, twist down beneath the earth, become underground aquifers, submerged lakes, rivers in the dark, hydrological systems that light never touches. Many rivers look as though swallowed by the land, but actually, the land is opening a door, inviting water to take another path. A more secret, deeper, keyter journey. Like how humans sometimes disappear for a while to find themselves. Most of these disappearing rivers go into karst systems, limestone regions, worn by water over millions of years. Water drips, then flows, then bores, then opens natural tunnels. Over time, the rock becomes a lung beneath the earth, hollow, soft, breathable, ready to welcome water inside. Science calls this stream capture, but in the meditative narration, it is described as the moment a river remembers its roots, where it no longer belongs to the sky or the light, but returns to Earth's belly, like a child finding a mother's embrace. Just a small crack, just an opening wide enough, the whole stream can plunge, disappearing in an instant. No sound, only the silence of a secret kept for millions of years. The Timavo River in Italy flows about 2 kilometers above ground, then disappears completely for the next 40 kilometers. It runs underground through Poland, Slovenia, Croatia, through caves like floors of giant limestone, and resurfaces in a place entirely different. The Guadiana in Spain converses with the sun a short while, then vanishes, waiting tens of kilometers to reappear, as if never gone. The Lost River in the US flows through forests, across meadows, into a natural sinkhole, and never appears again. People search for it with maps, with instruments, with drilling, but still do not know where it goes. A missing river, like feelings that leave us without a word. When water goes down, it changes character. No longer the noisy water striking rocks. No longer the sparkle under sunlight. No longer the scent of wet grass and insects. It becomes the planet's quietest water. In caves, water flows slowly like deep sleep breath, erodes rock with centuries' patience, forms stalactites like growing fingers, carves soft curves on cavern walls. With each drop falling from the cave ceiling, one calcium molecule is carried away, another left behind. Stalactites, 30 meters high, are just traces of drops persisting for 200,000 years. No violence, no haste, only perseverance. Like how nature heals everything, gentle, slow, unstoppable. Disappearing rivers leave behind empty labyrinths in caves, twisting tunnels, domes rounded like vaulted cosmic roofs, underground valleys deeper than any gorge on the surface. Rock does not forget. Every flow that passed is engraved in Earth's belly. In absolute darkness, moisture crystallizes into a faint sheen on cavern walls. Like water's fingerprints, you can touch that surface and feel time there, become denser, deeper, heavier, and yet gentler. Where water once ran, silence now replaces it, but not an empty silence, a silence full of history. Underground rivers are not lonely. They shelter strange creatures, species evolved to be part of the dark. Eyeless fish, transparent shrimp that sense light, with photoreceptive hairs, white insects like fog, bioluminescent worms, and animals that only follow the current, never knowing how the blue sky looks. Their life rhythms do not rely on the sun, but on water. Water is calendar, heartbeat, homeward direction. Life proves again. It does not need light to exist. It only needs flow. Many think a disappearing river is a sad thing, but in the video, the gentle narrator denies that thought. It is not that the river disappears. It only chooses to go deeper, like feelings that sometimes sink deep into us, not to extinguish, but to find a new way to continue. Underground rivers still nourish forests, still pour into the sea, still decide a climate, only from another world. Nature always finds a way to continue, in light or in dark. Some rivers do not merely vanish, they return, as if playing chase with time. They go underground in one season, then resurface the next. They visit the light for a while, then dissolve into rock, like breath, vanishing at night. And when they reappear, they carry new minerals, the scent of stone, stories of dark tunnels, and temperatures unlike surface water. Humans do not see their journey, but we sense traces. A sudden streak of cold water, a different wee, an unusual layer of sediment. A river tells stories by its returns. We often think we must always appear on the surface, always strong, always present. But sometimes, like a river, we need to withdraw inside, sink deep within ourselves, to heal, to find a new direction, to continue with another kind of flow. Not every disappearance is an end. Often, it is the beginning of a deeper form of existence. The river teaches us that silence is also a form of movement. Water can disappear, but light never does. And there are places on Earth, light dies, land, water, sky, in colors so strange we feel as if standing in a dream. White sand, as pure as snow, color-shifting lakes, vanishing forests, rivers of light, and places no human foot has ever touched. Nature becomes an artist, and we are merely the lucky ones who get to gaze. Not every beach is golden. Not every dune carries the honeyed color of sunlight. In some places, sand is so white, it seems as if snow fell in the wrong season, or as if someone spilled the sky's milk on the ground. But that whiteness is not magic. It comes from minerals. Beaches like white sands in New Mexico, or stretches in Greece, the Bahamas, the Philippines, share one trait. Sand made almost entirely of pure gypsum or calcium carbonate minerals, so bright they reflect light rather than absorb it. Gypsum does not retain heat well, so even at midday the sand remains cool underfoot, as if touching a dense cloud. These grains of sand were once mountains, once rock, once the backbone of the earth. Then wind and time ground them into the purity you see. White sand is not just sand. It is a geological heritage, each grain telling of ancient acid rains, vanished rivers, winds carrying memories of thousands of years. Under blazing sun, white beaches look almost unreal, but at night, under moonlight, they become a soft, frozen ocean, sparkling like a field of falling stars. When wind stirs, the entire surface undulates, as if breathing a long, dreamy breath, not because they are remote, but because they are too dangerous or too pure to touch. This planet still holds secrets, lands that have kept primordial silence for millions of years. Primeval rainforests, where light barely reaches the ground. Daintree in Australia, Valdivian forests in Chile, the most remote parts of the Amazon rainforests with no paths, where life is so dense that sunlight is trapped among countless layers of leaves. There, humidity, so high mist becomes breath, trees older than civilizations, and humans just a faint echo of the wind. Science calls them ancient forests, where roots, fungi, soil and air have formed a complete symbiotic system such that human presence is merely an unwanted disturbance. Cliffs unclimbable, valleys inaccessible. There are places on Earth whose terrain makes any step impossible. Sheer cliffs like walls of time, valleys encircled by permanent ice and snow, or deep pits so dark light only reaches halfway, then disappears. Those places are not off limits by decree. Rather, humans are simply not capable of reaching them. Sealed islands, places that create their own worlds alone. There are tiny islands where species live isolated for millions of years. From giant tortoises in Seychelles to plants that grow only on a specific peak, at a specific altitude, in a specific fog. These places do not need human presence, and perhaps do not want it. There are places that exist not to be found, but to remind us that the world is still bigger than imagination. In the eyes of science, these untouched regions are priceless. They are natural laboratories, storehouses of ancient DNA, ecosystems functioning perfectly without human hands. But in the eyes of the soul, they are a healing potion, a gentle reminder that not everything belongs to us, and not every place should be discovered. Earth has secrets, and the most beautiful secret is the existence of places humans have never touched. Snow, white lands, unseen forests, moon-chilled sands, all silent, waiting for the right moment to be told by the breath of wind. But nature is not only present in distant places, it also lives in the daily motions of Earth, in the wind, in storms, in the silent changes unseen by the eye. This world is vast, stranger than any dream, and so beautiful we need not travel far to find miracles. Because sometimes miracles lie right under our feet, in wind slipping through a roof, in the scent of warm earth left after a night rain, in moonlight softly tracing the lake like a quiet silver note. Nature never asks us to understand it fully. It only needs us to stop a moment, open our hands, relax our shoulders, and let the mind slow. The universe keeps turning. The ocean keeps breathing. Deep forests keep conversing in wordless sounds. And nature vast beyond comprehension always waits for us to return whenever we choose. Whenever you wish, it will tell you stories. In each gust of wind, in every leaf, in every slowed breath, in the quiet night. Let your eyes close a little. Let your body melt into the bed like sand grains falling into the sea's embrace. Nature is here, watching over your sleep with the gentlest silence Earth can offer. Good night, light as moonlight falling on water,